Before I introduce my panel back here, I'm the Mario. I'll be your host pretty much the whole, well, not pretty much, literally the host the whole time. I'm literally hosting. This is what I'm doing right now. This is hosting. All right. So if you want a lesson in hosting, Google me, and then we'll charge you to speak. All right, put your hands together for this lovely table. Clap your hands for them right here. Put them. I like y'all. Why y'all move from here to over there? Oh, okay. I thought my underarms was stinking or something because I was at working somewhere. Y'all didn't want to tell me. I just went over there and put 2 tables. Okay. All right. All right. Before we get started, everybody in the building, where y'all at? Let me see your phones. Everybody, pull your cell phone out before we get started. Everybody, pull your cell phone out. That's right. That's right. Pull out those Metro PCSs and them POSs. All of them. Where y'all at? Let me see your phone. I need everybody to, real quick, before we even get started, I want you to text it, tweet it, put it on Facebook. You can even Instagram because there's enough people here. Instagram it. I need you to tell everybody that you're at Barasti on 3rd and Oak. Let them know that you're at Straight Talk. Just do hashtag Straight Talk. Hey. Hashtag Neshee P. Let them know this is where we at. Come down. Remind them that it's free. It don't care how much y'all pay to get in here. You ain't paid not a nair, nada to get in here. Not a nair, nada. All right, so let them know it's free. Come on down here. We're getting started right now. If you got Instagram, it's probably best if you take a picture of me. But no, I'm just kidding. All right, no, for real. Actually, take a picture of me. But look at him. He hard over here. Man, I came for some straight talk, yo. All right, here we go. So it's really important. Tell everybody to come down here. We're going to have a good talk. You'll have your opportunity, all right? You'll have your opportunity to respond. There'll be some times we'll ask you to be able to chime in on the discussion, all right? And there'll be some other times we'll ask you just to shut up and listen. But either way, we want you to have a good time. Make sure that you continue to drink. Make sure you take care of the bartender. She got child support to pay. Right?
Oh my goodness.
Just make sure you're having a good time ultimately, all right? But I want to remind everybody that we are here today to attack issues, multiple different issues, but not attack each other. Okay? Panelists, y'all know that already, right? Y'all all cousins anyway. All right? We're here to attack some issues, not each other. No personal attacks. There's an opinion based on different people's perspectives. The panel is going to start the topic. Then we'll go to you periodically. Don't forget, there is a pink, if everybody looks back there on the little podium, the little church pulpit thing they got going on when you come in. If you go to that thing right there, it's old too. Y'all need to repaint that. Tell him to repaint that. They need to paint that. Put sand it down a little bit and put another coat of stain. But anyway, on top of it, you'll see a pink box. Battery's dead. There's a pink box right there. We use that for a suggestion box. So rather than hating on Facebook, just write it on a piece of paper and put it in that pink box. We'll know about what your suggestion is. Or if you have a good comment or you like something really well, we want to know about it because trust me, this will not be the very last Straight Talk that we do. And we want to make sure we continue to make it better every time we do it. Is that cool? Is that cool? All right. Okay, you doing a real good job. Look at, put your hands together for she's even the sound chick. Man, she got it going on. All right, so good. So here we go. Let me introduce this panel. Let me tell you something. This is a very educated panel on some of these subjects. Some of them are just really educated in certain areas. And some of them, but I'm just playing. All right, I'm gonna start actually from right to left because this is the way my cards is written. But we've got Sherman Smith. Wave your hand at him, Sherman. He is the news editor for Louisville Metro Council District 5 for the Mix magazine and a columnist. Sherman is also pursuing a master's degree in communication at Bellarmine University, in addition to crafting his first fictional novel called Heaven in Las Vegas. Give it up for Sherman Smith. We've got Miss Sasha. Look at her. Miss Sasha with that bling bling on today. All right, Sasha, she is an artist. a rapper, singer, songwriter, blogger, event planner, and more. Yeah, that's what she do. She do it like that, you know what I mean? She don't get tired. Sasha Renee was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. She currently hosts with the S on it, a weekly open mic at New Orleans that's on 5th and Muhammad Ali, right on the corner, every Thursday night. And she runs a black empowerment hip-hop blog called thismelanin.com and does indie shows in the Louisville area and throughout the country. Give it up for Sasha. Sasha. All right, the man in the middle with a pearly white shirt, that's Lance Newman, Mr. Spread Love. He is a host, an instructor, and a poet, and he's quite modest because he's really got much more to say than that, but he's a very talented and educated individual. Put your hands together for him. This one wrote a whole book right here on the edge. Shelly, this is Shell. All right, put your hands together for her. She's a singer, model, artist manager, and event planner. Shelly Nay is a Louisville native. She feels most at home on stage and finds a balance with working behind the scenes as well. She will soon be pursuing her law degree. Look at what? Her law degree, and plans to start an independent record label. She enjoys long walks on the beach. And no, put your hands together for Shelly. Put your hands together for Shelly. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Y'all hate us on there because she's going to school? Kills me, bro.
Like, take building out the science guy. It actually helped us because we got to see them discuss things. We got to see experiments from it, and it also entertained us. So I always think like we can learn things from a lot of TV, but it's what we choose to ingest. I think as far as social media is concerned and things like that, where it's not like, and it's a bunch of like a lot of different things are, and because of people's opinions, you know, it's people can put out trash opinions for trash things, and it's not really, no one cares about looking at things objectively from, you know, from this point and looking at everything from right here. It's all, well, no, I'm in this position and this is how I feel about this position, and take this time to step outside your box and actually see what you're actually looking at and what you're paying attention to or what you're making yourself aware. You know, she said she stopped watching TV. I don't have cable either. I'll binge watch Netflix like House of Cards or something, but I'm actually learning something from House of Cards, you know.
Okay, so then brings back to me. So how is House of Cards better than Stevie J and Jocelyn?
Look at Stevie J and Jocelyn.
The reason, and I asked, but I asked that because different people do different things for different reasons, and so if all entertainment then becomes educational, I'm saying that because I'm a television personality, right? And so from my perspective, you know what I mean, what I do and what I intend to do can sometimes be two different things. And so we've got a rapper, we've got a poet, and we've got a singer. What difference is your music from what, you know, that we hear and we watch on TV?
It could be educating, but what are you educating? You can educate yourself on selling drugs, you know? Somebody can educate you from doing that. So it's what you're educating. Sure, it's educational, but what type of education is it? What are you learning? Is it gonna benefit you? What positives is it gonna bring to you? Watching Stevie J and Jocelyn, what positive do you get besides girls being like, I can act like that? Dudes saying, I can act like Stevie J, you know, and act all foolish and ridiculous on TV because they're getting paid for it.
Okay, Michelle, let me ask you this. Okay, as from a law student, right, who's someone who's interested in, someone who's interested in that type of thing, and an entertainer on top of that, because I heard some of the songs you sang, and don't front, right? So let's talk. So tell me your perspective on that.
Well, I wanted to touch on the first thing you talked about entertainment. About media molding us. Okay. I think that people forget that that's the point of media. It's supposed to influence you. It's supposed to make you think a certain way. That's why it was created. I think that we spend too much time leaning on what they tell us. And I think it is supposed to spark your interest. You're supposed to think of something, but you're supposed to go and research it on your own. Like, you're supposed to see something on TV and be like, that's interesting to me. Let me look it up. You know, like, you're not supposed to take it for what it is and let it be your truth. Like, it's supposed to, you know, spark something in you. And I think that's our issue. That's why it influences us so much. That's why girls are walking around like Bad Girls Club and wanting to be, you know, like loving hip hop, because they don't, it's like you see it, but you see it like it's truth. It's TV. It's meant to be, you know, it's meant to be entertainment. If you choose to let it, you know, mold your life, and there's a problem. Like there's something internally wrong. Like it's not supposed to be that. And I think as an entertainer, I think, you know, I struggle with that whole, like, are entertainers supposed to be role models? And, you know, it's like, I really don't agree with that. Like, as much as I like to be on stage, and I hope people like me or whatever, but I don't want you to mold your life after me. I don't want you to do what I do. Like, I want you to like what I do. And then, but I still want you to be you. Like, I want, you know, me to maybe be an influence, but I don't want me to create you. And I think that's our issue in our society in general. Like, we see something on Facebook and we want to be it instead of, you know, letting it mold, you know, what you do. Like, it's just, it's I don't know, it's strange to me.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Okay, so, because as an actor considers they consider their performance an art, in a form of being artistic, right? So I'm just kind of make sure I stay on topic here because I'm moving right into this. So as an artist of whatever kind, right, especially if you're an actor, then how responsible are we for, since we talk about TV, right, how responsible are we to be positively educational rather than negatively educational, considering I'm playing a part as an actor and I want to be authentic. I used to, personally, like I watch stuff like as a church boy, right, growing up as a church boy, when I watch church scenes, I get pissed because I'm like, that's TV church. That's not like that, right? And you know what I mean? And then as somebody who goes to clubs, you see the club scenes, you be like, you see the black people, and like, black people don't act like that, right? Like, it's not real, right? So, so shows like Empire, that are good, you know, or is it too stereotypical, or, you know what I mean? Or since we're talking about how it educates people.
You love Empire?
Do
you hear it? Raise your hand if you like Empire.
I love Empire, but yeah. I love it as an...
Oh my goodness.
Because
at least y'all honest.
It's artistic.
Yeah, it's artistic.
It's entertaining.
Drip, drop.
But
drip, drippity, drop. Drip.
Not the music, though.
Not the music. And I mean, you ask
You're so beautiful.
You ask how responsible an entertainer is to framing that idea or those stereotypes, and they have the most power to and the most responsibility to frame that. So as long as they continue to take this gig, now understand, you got to make money, right? There is tap dancing, there's minstrel, and then there is being real and being, you know, authentic to your craft. Now, where that line blurs is up to the artists themselves, and there's enough space for the coonery. Like, there's enough space for an actor to have the stereotypical roles. We need to create the space for the non-stereotypical roles, which I can't think of on TV. I mean, I don't really know a non-stereotypical show.
Well, we had Bill Cosby,
but also we gotta know what's for entertainment. Like, I feel like some entertainment is meant to show you what not to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like the entertainment. Like, I feel like with TV, like, remember when sitcoms used to teach you a lesson at the end of every show? That don't even happen anymore. But
like
to me, it's like,
yeah,
or, you know, Family Matters or whatever. Like, you know, yes. But I feel like there are certain things that also with the responsibility of artists. Like, if there weren't negative artists, we wouldn't be able to recognize and appreciate the positive. Like, I think that there has to be both, because you know, we just need to understand that the balance has to come. We need to understand that, like, you know, like kind of like I said earlier, like you can't let that artist influence your life. You have to understand that it is art and it is what it is, and you know, it's somebody's truth. It might not be mine. I don't sell drugs, but people do. You know what I mean? So it's like they can relate to that, and it has to speak to somebody. It may not be meant for me, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not real or it's not good. I think it's a fine line, and I think also that you shouldn't let entertainers be your role models. I'm sorry, like I just really don't. I really don't think that. Like, you know, you role model after somebody who did something in their life, somebody who's doing what you want to do. Like, you know, I admire Russell Simmons. He's like, I'm reading his last book that he wrote. Because I love what he does. Like, I want to do what he does, so I'm modeling my business life at least after his. And I think we have to do that. We can't expect entertainers to be our role models. We can't expect them to, at least in my opinion.
Not to disagree with that, but like, I know me.
That's okay too.
When you no, absolutely no, but like.
I know y'all friends, but
you know, when I was growing up, you know, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I always wanted to be a rapper. Before I started rapping, like, you know, I'm looking at people, I'm looking at Lauryn Hill, I'm like, I just love what she do. And I'm like having dreams of doing the same thing. So, inherently, like, those entertainers were my role models. They influenced me completely. So if they was doing, you know, if they popping bottles and smoking weed, and hey, when I'm on top of the world and I'm doing that too, just because that's all I have to look up to. Those were my role models. When nobody else around me, my role models. So as entertainers and artists, you have to know the role you play and be responsible. But at the same time, there shouldn't be a certain expectation, because we're all human and we're all gonna make mistakes and we're not gonna be perfect and we're not gonna do everything right. But you gotta try, you know what I'm saying? Some artists, some entertainers, they give no effort to try to influence in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, when I go in the studio or when I'm creating my music, it's always in mind of who's gonna hear it and who's gonna be inspired by it, you know what I'm saying? So I try to write positive music, and at the same time, you gotta stay true to yourself. So my experience might be some old ratchet stuff that people might be like, well, she's not being a role model, but I'm just keeping it real. I mean, there has to be a balance, but I know, and all artists should know their responsibility, and that you are a role model.
So then, who then dictates what's considered responsible and what's irresponsible? I've got, as you know, someone who would look up to somebody based on their craft and not necessarily their life, but let's take a look at somebody like Jamie Foxx, he does music, comedy, and acting, and the big screens, right? Well, small screens and the big screens, right? He does some of all of that. So as an entertainer, you know, somebody might look at somebody like him and say, that's what I want to do. So that's kind of my role model, right? But then he plays a role like he plays in Django, where he's an actor playing the part of a slave who is playing a part of a slave trader. And so then he loses fans and he loses, you know, people because they feel like he was irresponsible for him to take such a role in such a movie. And then,
yeah, I didn't know.
He
lost fans?
Oh, he lost a lot. He lost a lot.
But you see how he took the narrative, though. He took the narrative of slave and flipped it on his head, right? So I may be a slave, but I am now killing slave owners, right? So I'm a badass slave. So it's like, what other roles, like they're changing, like the slavery kit is going out of style. Like I think people they're tired of it. They're not going to be in those roles anymore. And Tupac said, I'm a real model, not a role model, right? So the idea of a role model only comes from our ideas of what we
just with his shirt off.
and this mother stuff, a real model, right? I mean, it's like, the role model, what role are you fitting in? Who defined that role? It's like there's so many questions that have to be asked after, why aren't you a role model? And then we should all just adhere to Tupac's, I'm a real model. This is my life. Just be who you are, you know?
So is somebody considered then, so let's take the average African-American male, right, who's an actor. Is he considered successful now, though, when he takes a role like in Empire that shows that a black man can only be successful if he's an athlete or he's a rapper, or if he started out selling drugs and is he still successful because he's catering to that stereotype that I can only make it here because I started out selling drugs? But do we congratulate him on your new role on Empire? Or do we say, my brother, my brother? You know?
I think that we should let people do art.
I'm good.
You are good.
All right, go ahead.
I really do. Like, I think that it's okay that we play a role because we play a role. And I think it's okay that actors are able to express themselves and, you know, and get a job and act and do what they love. And I think that it's strange. I'm a super huge fan of Empire, just to start off. Music industry is my thing. But I don't necessarily think that the stereotypes in it don't affect me negatively, because to me, that's somebody's experience. There's a lot of people that we know that show was based off of, and that's really how they did it, regardless of whether or not it's good or bad. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like you're supposed to look at it as not necessarily an example of what to do, but how it has been done. You can choose to do it, you know, the same way or a different way, but to me, it's realistic. And I think that, especially for black people, I think we are so quick to say that's a negative stereotype of us, but we just never see the negative stereotypes of white people. So we have no idea what they do. They do the most ridiculous things too, it's just that nobody makes movies about it. Or when they make movies about it, they don't get offended like we do. Or, you know what I mean? Like we act like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that they sold drugs. Why? Everybody in here knows somebody that sells drugs. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's not nice, but it's real. Like, that's reality. And I think that we should just enjoy. That's what I'm saying. It's real life. Like, I think that we should not be so quick to be like, it's just so negative, and just take it for what it is. And it's really well written, well acted theater.
So we need to separate. We need to separate entertainers from their entertainment in their regular lives. I totally agree.
Like, I'm a huge Chris Brown fan.
So then the Cosby Show is not garbage.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Like entertainers.
No, I want you to answer that question. So is the Cosby Show garbage or not?
No.
No, I want you to answer it like you on the panel.
No, the Cosby Show.
Send me the one-word text back. Nah, bro.
No, the Cosby Show is not garbage. Look what the Cosby Show embodied. You know, before all this stuff about Bill Cosby, you know, surfaced again, like it does every
20 years.
Yeah, all the time. It's not the first time they talk about Bill Cosby putting Molly in drinks and pills and giving girls pills and stuff. So
you ain't know.
It don't. But the show and what it embodies, you look at the high-powered lawyer, the OBGYN, was he was an OB? Yeah, he was an OB. The OB doctor, the kids, you know, it was an all-American, wholesome black family. And it's something that you didn't see on TV. You don't see. You're used to seeing like Losing Isaiah and stuff, you know, like, or the bad things, like from Rags to Riches. Back in the day, like, you know, even if you watched The Good Times, it was still a wholesome family. They were in the project. There was a Cabrini Green, but it was still a family. Probably taught you, it showed you about just the black family and the black family dynamic. You watch Family Matters. You know, it was about a black cop and the things that he went through in his life, the middle class families. A lot of that stuff you don't see on TV. So I can't say it's not a good show. It was absolutely, it was a great show. It was on so long, and look at the artists that were on the show. The entertainers, the actors they went on to do a lot of great things. So it's not a bad, you know, it's not bad. And the only reason
it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Empire. All these shows that put us into the main stereotype that we have